Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. So if your Maytag washer is showing that F5E3 error code and your lid is locked tight after the cycle ends, don't worry. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it. Good news is, about 70% of these cases can be fixed in under 10 minutes without spending a dime or even touching a screwdriver. Safety first though, we'll be working with electrical components, so always unplug your washer before doing any hands-on troubleshooting. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group. Links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. Now, I'm going to walk you through the most common causes of this F5E3 error, starting with the simplest fixes and working our way up to the more complex ones. Here's what we're dealing with. This error means your washer thinks the lid should be locked when it should be unlocked, or vice versa. Most of the time, it's just a temporary glitch, but sometimes there's an actual mechanical problem. Let's dig into these solutions. So the most common cause, and this is probably 80% of the F5E3 codes I see, is just a temporary electronic hiccup. The control board gets confused and forgets to send the unlock signal to the lid. I had this customer last week call me in a panic because her lid was locked with wet clothes inside. Walked her through this fix over the phone and saved her a service call. Here's what you do: unplug your washer from the wall for about 5 minutes. If you can't reach the plug, flip the breaker, plug it back in, and the system should reset itself. The lid lock should release within 30 seconds. This works way more often than you'd think. Another thing I see all the time, something's physically blocking the lid lock mechanism. Could be a sock jammed in there, or you've got an oversized comforter pushing up against the lid. I remember this guy who called me about his Bravos. Turned out he had stuffed 3 sleeping bags in there, and they were pressing the lid up so hard the lock couldn't retract. Here's your fix. Press the power button twice to try to cancel the cycle and release the lid. If that doesn't work, you might need to redistribute that load inside to take pressure off the striker. Sometimes you can gently push down on the lid while hitting power to help it release. If the simple stuff doesn't work, we're looking at a mechanical failure in the lid lock itself. The solenoid inside can burn out, or the little plastic pieces can break from wear and tear. Here's how you test it. First, make sure your washer is powered on but not running a cycle. Then enter diagnostic mode by turning the cycle selector knob left, right, 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 left, right. That's one left turn, then 4 right turns, then one final left turn. You'll see lights flash, confirming you're in diagnostic mode. Navigate to the manual test option and select lid lock test. You should hear a clear click when you activate the lock test. If it doesn't click and engage when prompted, that lock assembly is toast. You're looking at about 50 to 150 bucks for a replacement, depending on your model. Way cheaper than calling someone like me out. Don't overlook the striker. That's the little hook on your lid that goes into the lock. These things can crack, bend, or just get knocked out of alignment. Close your lid real slow and watch if that striker goes into the lock hole straight and centered. I've seen strikers that were so bent they jammed the whole mechanism. If it's just misaligned, you can usually bend it back carefully with needle nose pliers. This takes about 5 minutes and costs nothing. If it's cracked, you're looking at a 15-minute replacement job with a $20 to $50 part. Still way better than a service call. You'll need a Phillips head screwdriver and possibly a socket wrench depending on your model. Here's where it gets a bit more technical. Sometimes the wires connecting the lock to the control board get loose or corroded, especially if your washer's in a humid basement or garage. First, unplug your washer and wait 5 minutes for safety. You'll need to remove the top panel, usually just 2 screws at the back. Once inside, look for the wiring harness connected to the lid
The
lock.
top panel is
It's
located
typically a white or
along the
colored
slots on the
plastic
back edge
connector.
of the
Check
top
for
panel
green
to
or
the
white corrosion around the plug connections, black burn marks, or any frayed wire insulation. Don't ask me how I know this, but mice love to chew on these wires too. If the connections look sketchy, try unplugging and reconnecting them firmly. If that doesn't work, you might need a new wiring harness. For those of you with washers in garages or near the coast, sand and salt air can really mess with these mechanisms. I had a customer in Florida whose lock was so gunked up with salt residue it wouldn't move at all. You'll hear clicking or beeping, and you might see actual debris around the latch area. Solution is to remove the lock, clean all the contacts with electrical contact cleaner, and put a little white lithium grease on the sliding parts. Takes about 30 minutes and saves you a $150 service call. This is the one nobody wants to hear about. The control board itself is bad. If you've tested the lid lock with a multimeter and it's good, the wiring's good, but you're still getting the error, after all these resets, the brain of your washer might be fried. Control boards run about 100 to 200 bucks, and honestly, this is where most folks call someone like me. It's not impossible to do yourself, but there's a lot of wires to keep track of. This is the big one, the actual locking mechanism. It's got a solenoid inside that pulls a little hook to lock and unlock your lid during the spin cycle. When these fail, you'll get that F5E3 error, maybe some flashing lights, or the lid just won't open when the cycle's done. You can test it in diagnostic mode. If it doesn't click when you tell it to lock and unlock, it's dead. Part runs about 50 to 150 depending on your exact model. Now here's the thing, don't let anyone tell you the whole control board is bad just because of this error. I've seen that misdiagnosis cost people 300 bucks when they only needed a $60 lid lock. The striker is that plastic or metal piece on your lid that actually goes into the lock. Think of it like a key going into a lock. When these crack or get bent, your washer either won't start because it doesn't think the lid's closed, or you get errors like F5E3. Good news is they're cheap, 20 to 50 bucks usually, easy visual inspection too. Just close the lid slowly and watch if it goes in straight and centered. If it's crooked or you see cracks, that's your problem right there. All right, if you're dealing with actual part failures, let's talk about what you're looking at cost-wise and how hard these are to replace. Most of these parts you can definitely tackle yourself with basic tools. We're talking screwdrivers and maybe some pliers. Here's what I typically see failing on these Maytag washers. Now, before we wrap up, you can see right there on your screen the most common Maytag models that get hit with this F5E3 error. If you've got one of these units displayed, you're definitely not alone. I probably see 3 or 4 of these calls every week. The Bravo series seems to be especially prone to lid lock issues, probably because of how that vertical modular design puts extra stress on the latch mechanism. That's how you tackle the Maytag F5E3 error code. Here's your action plan. Step 1, try the 5-minute power reset first. This fixes 80% of cases. Step 2, check for physical obstructions or overloading. Step 3, inspect the door striker for damage. Step 4, test the lid lock in diagnostic mode. Step 5, check wiring connections if you're comfortable doing so. Remember, most of these fixes take under 30 minutes and can save you $153 in service calls. Most of the time, one of these fixes will get you back to doing laundry without calling a repair guy. If you guys know someone who's having appliance troubles, please send them the link to this video or a link to my channel where I have tons of other videos showing how to fix pretty common issues with appliances, sometimes for free or as little cost as possible. It sure beats having a repairman come out and spending several hundred for them to fix it when it could be something so simple. If this helped you get your Maytag washer working again, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.